at Royal, we really like utilizing Study Island. We think it's a great tool. We've seen it really help a lot of our children. It helps them review a lot of the skills and get a lot of extra practice. But we hadn't really utilized the teacher aspect of it. So when we sat down to look at our data from the CPAA testing and from Classcape testing, we noticed that our children really needed to work on making predictions. And so what we did is we went on, and you can go, when you log on as a teacher, every time it has a green check, that means there's a presentation that's already in a PowerPoint for you. There are worksheets. There's a lot of things that is already developed, so you don't have to spend hours upon hours reinventing the wheel on how to present this again to your children. You can just pull this up. So what we did is we came up, and Wendy's going to pass out a handout. And if you look at your handout, there are 6 different things that go with the slides, with the book covers. So what you would do is, when you have this PowerPoint, and this slide you can pull right up from the website. You would give your children the handout, or you can, for use of copies, because I'm sure all of you are like us who are very strictly numbered, you can put this under your document camera, or you can put it on a transparency, and then your kids have to, the first thing before even showing it, I would have my kids read through every one of them and kind of get a picture in their mind, and then you could cover up the book cover numbers, and you would have your kids match from what they read to what the different book covers are, and so then they can use what they've read to make a prediction about what the picture should be like in their minds.
And this is something, if you haven't done it, the kids do enjoy. They always want more of this kind of activity.
So if you would look through, could I have someone from Youngsville read the first summary for us, please? Anybody from Youngsville?
I can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Mana Koroi, a young girl from Egypt, has always dreamed of being a doctor in the United States. Her family wanted her to stay in Egypt. She decided to move to the United States for medical school. This true story is about her journey.
So then, of course, you would match up with the doctors having on the scrubs and the gloves. And so that can be a big hint for your kids and a way to explain that. And I always tell my kids, we do work on pronunciation, but at this point in the year, if they have a lot of trouble with a name, I tell them, call that Miss K, so that they're not sitting there on the EOG pulling their hair out, oh my gosh, or just tears rolling down their face because they can't get past the name. Could I have someone from Edward Best read the second passage, please?
I will. Mark moved to a new town where he did not know anyone. He was lonely until he joined a swim team. On the swim team, he made friends for life. This story is about Mark and the friends he made.
So then, you would see, obviously, with the people in the water, that would go with book cover number 2. Could someone from Lewisburg read number 3, please?
Julian always sleeps through his alarm. Nothing will wake him up. A friend tells him to go to a doctor who will help him wake up each morning. Little does Julian know how much the doctor will change him. This story is about how Julian's life changes after he meets the doctor.
So then, of course, you see, this is probably how a lot of us look in the morning until Friday morning when it's not quite so bad. Could someone from Bond read number 4, please?
Lucky is a very fun dog who likes to run outside. He loves to go on adventures. One day, likes to run around the neighborhood when it starts to rain. This story is about what he does on his adventure in the rain.
So then, of course, you have your doc. So, I mean, we're not going to go through each one, but that you basically get the idea of how you can present this to your kids. And Wendy is going to show you how to get to Study Island and log on and pull this up.
How many people already knew about all of the features that Study Island offered? I asked Bun, but I was surprised, getting on there as a teacher and pulling this up. It was a great resource that we already had. The kids already know how to do this. To me, that needed to be better trained. And what is so great is that a lot of the PowerPoints have the kids, they delay an answer so the kids can work in groups or as a whole group and say it out loud. Like one of them that we were playing around with said broccoli, carrots, and it was for the main idea in grouping. And then it pauses a moment, and then they yell, vegetables! And they really had a wonderful time because they weren't having to listen to Mrs. Dickerson speak. And it was an active, engaging as well presentation for them for the lesson. But as a teacher, what I love is there are leveled activities for the kids as far as worksheets. So if they're doing sequencing, you can see a big difference between a low, medium, and an advanced worksheet for the children. And it's just already readily available at our fingertips. And unfortunately, I wish I had known this a couple of years back because it is now used, weekly in my classroom. And I just thought it would be great for us if those of you that didn't have this information already could use it, because it's great. And obviously it's skill specific, so if you can even get something per child if you're individualizing. So
when you log into Study Island and you come up to this screen, we have focused on reading. So once you click on your reading topic, it'll come up with all the skills the students learn. Everything with a check has activities. The activities can include anything from a PowerPoint to lesson plans, reading passages with questions, and there are several that come with differentiation as far as your low learner, your average learner, activities for an advanced learner. So once you choose your topic, you can come up and choose any of these tabs. We actually have gone through the lesson plans. They have video lesson plans, PowerPoints. There's your reading passage with an independent, an advanced learner assignment, a struggling learner assignment. All of those are already available. There are additional resources down at the bottom. I want to go to, where was that? Yeah, that's the one. When you go to the lesson plans, this is one of the activities that we've done. And it comes up with the PowerPoint, and like they said, you can show it on if you have your camera, you can show it if you're connected to the TV, and the kids can do this together, groups, whole class, and basically you come up with 5 items. The kids try to guess the main idea, what your category heading would be, and it'll give them the answer, and of course they just go wild when they're right.
There we go, that's one.
And then the kids, of course, get so excited. And I think there are 5 of these.
Things on the floor.
So you can see that they really have a lot of neat activities. And then even with the video, you may have gone through and taught and you're thinking, I don't know how else to get through to the kids. The videos on here are also really neat, And for this one, it's a good teacher lesson, but there are some where there's a person that comes up and actually reviews and gives examples. So it's almost like having your virtual teacher for your classroom. So like Youngsville said, when they rotate, it's really neat because sometimes another teacher can present something that clicks with the kid. The same thing with the study island when they have the virtual teacher on here. Oftentimes that's all a child needs. You know, you can pull your hair out, but it's just hearing somebody else say it. And then real quick, I was going to show you math. And we listed the topics that are covered on the handout we gave you. Again, everything with green checks includes some type of supplemental activity, whether it's PowerPoint, lessons, and so forth. And for those of you that are utilizing Study Island, it's a great tool to have for you, and by having Study Island, the kids can access it at home. It provides the parents with an opportunity to see what EOGs are like, because I'm sure your kids are a lot like ours. For many families, the third grader that you have this year is the first child they've had to experience EOGs, and it gives parents a first-hand experience with seeing what their child is being asked to do. So if you're not implementing Study Island, it really is a great tool.